with Stetson so white and a pearl-handled gun swinging on his side. Texas John Slaughter made 'em do what they oughter, 'cause if they didn't, they died.
In this atomic age, with all of the talk about guided missiles, H-bombs, and so on, we might not be too impressed with such primitive weapons as these. But lest we forget, one of the most violent campaigns of terror in our country's history was waged with just such weapons. It started in May 1885, when Geronimo led a renegade band of Chiricahuas on the last and most vicious series of raids in all of his blood-soaked history. 5,000 American troops poured into this area with but a single objective: capture Geronimo. And yet for some 15 months, the campaign of terror continued. General Miles, sent to replace the frustrated General Crook, finally called upon his old friend, John Slaughter, and requested his help in tracking down this renegade Apache, Geronimo. The program you are about to see, titled The End of the Trail, is based upon this true historical incident from the life of that most remarkable man, Texas John Slaughter.
Detail, halt. Dismount.
There were other ways you could tell me. So I didn't give these people a decent burial.
Sorry, sir.
Sorry. Be sorry for them, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
I'm Senator Calum. This is Senator Perkins, co-chairman, Military Appropriations Committee.
I know who you are.
You'd never know it from the way you kept us waiting. Right, Perkins?
Get on with it, Calum.
General, Washington is mighty disappointed in your performance.
Oh? In what way?
You know very well in what way.
Games. Came 2,000 miles to play games. Get on with it, Calum.
Did you see that stagecoach, General Miles? Those people were murdered by Geronimo.
We might have been on that stage ourselves, General.
Do you know how many others he and his Apaches have killed?
Yes.
What kind of an answer is that?
You asked me if I knew the total number of deaths as attributed to Geronimo. And I said I did.
Then do you also know that you have 5,000 troops spread over this territory and haven't been able to catch him? Do you know how much money that costs? Do you know that this territory will never be settled until he's caught? And that Washington wants him caught and wants him caught now?
No more than I do, Senator.
Then what are you doing about it?
The best I can.
I'd like to remind you, General, Washington is not satisfied with your best. Are you coming, Perkins?
5,000 troops to catch one Indian. Shameful.
General, the senators don't understand the situation. Why didn't you explain it to them?
Lieutenant, you're rather young, but I think it's time you became a realist. We are fighting two wars.
Sir?
The Indians and Washington, and we're losing them both.
Oh, having a little trouble, sir, but...
Since I am a realist, I say that when a man's in trouble, he goes and finds a friend. I just hope mine is home.
More coffee, General?
Thank you, Val.
Billy, for the last time, will you give the general back his hat and go to bed?
Ah, gee. Do what your father says, Willie.
You better be right behind him.
But I'm older.
And I'm bigger. So do as I say.
Come along, Chip.
You're supposed to kiss girls, not soldiers.
Oh, yes, so I am.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, sweetheart.
Can't we stay up just a little longer, please?
No. Willie?
But we wouldn't listen.
So do I, Willie. But I'm afraid I'm not going to like what I hear.
John, I've got to capture Geronimo.
Oh, don't get up, General.
Well, that may turn out to be your life's work, General. General's trying to capture Geronimo.
So I heard.
Of course, it's sort of like trying to catch up with your own shadow. Every time you turn around, he's not there. He's somewhere else.
Well, no matter what they say about him, he's just a man. You go about it the right way, you'll get him.
I've gone about it a dozen right ways, and they've all been wrong.
Well, they must have been, or you would have caught him by now.
I hear you tangled with him some years back.
Yeah, me and Geronimo got an agreement. He sets foot on my land, I kill him. What's wrong, Vi?
I lost my crochet hook.
Right there by your hand. What have you tried?
Well, full-scale attack. Found herself fighting the wind. Small raids, lost half my men in every party. 11 months, John. And all I've got to show, with 5,000 men, is that I've captured 3 cold camps, 2 squaws, and a child.
That doesn't sound very good.
I'm telling you, John, now don't repeat this. That Indian can outride us, outhide us, and maybe outfight us. That, of course, I won't learn until we get close.
Well, a man who could do that for you.
The man who can has to be able to think like an Indian.
Why don't you hire Al Sieber?
He's sick in a hospital in Texas.
Tom Horn?
Last I heard 2 months ago, he was prospecting in the Sierras.
He won't be out until winter. I know you kids are there, but you better not be by the time I count 3. Give me a couple of seconds, General. I'll think of something.
Viola, it's not my pride or my career. It's the people of the territory. I don't know if they hate Geronimo more for what he's doing than me for letting him get away with it.
You think you'll get away with what you're trying?
With your help, ma'am.
Viola, do something about those kids, will you?
What's he trying to get away with, Mommy?
Talking your father into helping catch Geronimo.
Oh, boy.
I'm afraid your father's going to have the same attitude, Willie.
Viola, you never guess what the general wants me to do.
I think I can, John.
I need him, Viola. But unless you agree, he won't be much help.
I don't know, General. I got a ranch to run, stock to buy, fences. I don't know.
I need a whole man.
So do I, General. But I'm not sure I'll have one if he says no because I want him to.
Well, now, this is a decision that needs thought. I want to sleep on it.
Oh, John, you made your decision the moment that the General said Geronimo and your eyes lit up.
Thank you. I'm camping near Tombstone. Viola, as any soul will tell you, once you get a good man beside you, you'll end up sharing him with someone else who also needs him.
Looks like I'll be seeing you tomorrow.
I'll be waiting for you, John.
Well, I'm just going to track him, you know.
I know. But there's so...
Daddy's gonna catch Geronimo!
Yo!
Geronimo!
I'm only going to track him, son, that's all. Besides, I have the whole army behind me.
I'd feel a lot better if you had them in front of you.
Will I be the man around the house?
Starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow for lunch, we're gonna have candy.
Yes, sir. And for dessert, castor oil.
Willie, you just learned a very important lesson. To get what you want, you gotta pay for it. Now get.
I'll worry.
About what? I probably won't get within 10 miles of an Apache. Slaughter to see General Miles.
Hello, John.
General?
Like you an hour ago.
Well, I thought it'd be nice to have breakfast with my family.
Come on. I've got everything ready. John, this will show you why you're my last hope.
I wish I were sure of catching Geronimo as you were catching me.
Every Apache raid for the past 3 months.
You got a list of how many killed?
Sold on one side, civilians on the other.
What's been stolen?
Oh, supplies, clothes, guns.
Any cattle?
A couple ahead, but we found them slaughtered.
What'd you find in those coal camps?
Nothing that counted except the bodies of 3 of my men.
Where's the last place he hit?
Right here.
Before that? No. When did he hit this part of the territory?
About 3 weeks ago. I've only got about 100 men, a day's ride from here, but you're welcome to them.
No, thanks.
You need more?
I'll take what I need.
What do you plan to do?
Take some scouts, see if I can go find them.
Orderly! Assemble the scouts.
Yes, sir.
What do you want me to do?
Be there when I need you.
Well, John, you looking for anybody in particular?
Yeah, you got a Ben Jenkins?
Get Corporal Jenkins.
Jenkins! Corporal Jenkins! Front and center, on the double. Jenkins!
I'm coming. Simmer down. John! Doggone, it's good to see you.
How are you, Ben? I haven't seen you since the Rangers.
John, how's the family?
Just fine, couldn't be better.
At ease.
Very military, Ben, very military. How'd you get those?
Well, it was his first time in the field, and, bravery.
That figures.
Well, what the general means is, sir, is that I didn't exactly get these from knowing the book.
Well, that figures, too. You, want to see a little action, Ben?
You bet. John, you can't believe what we've been through. For 3 months, we've been chasing our own...
We travel light, Ben. Leave half an hour.
And the finest Apache scouts in the territory.
Say, which ones do the best work?
Fellow right here is the best. We've always come closest to capturing Geronimo when he was doing our tracking.
Hello, Chino. Last time we met, you said you'd never forget. You'll always get close with him, but you'll never get close enough.
What do you mean, John?
He's with Geronimo. How is your half-brother, Chino? You want him as a scout?
No. Sergeant Major, pay this man off and send him on his way.
Hello, Nakoma.
You have a long memory, John Slaughter.
And how long is your memory?
My child played with yours.
You get 4 men, get them mounted up. We're going to meet Geronimo. Nakoma. Read this.
Apaches. Many Apaches. Their horses are tired. They come by here maybe 2 days ago.
How many of them were squaws?
No squaws. Only warriors.
Any more questions?
No, tell them to just keep reading. Make sure we don't climb up their back.
Where do they go, Nakoma?
Like all the others. To meet the rest of nation. They move like this. The dry river, the canyon country, the hills. They make camp here.
Well, that makes sense. Pick one of your men to send back to the general. How does it look to you?
Looks empty.
It won't be for long. He'll make his camp right there on the rise.
How soon?
Nakoma. How soon will they come?
The centuries when the sun is high. The camp when it is dying.
Ben, you're a soldier. You tell me where he is.
I don't know.
Should have been here yesterday. Should have been in position before Geronimo even got close.
Ain't gonna do any good tearing into me about it.
3 weeks on the trail. 3 weeks to get him in a pocket, and the army doesn't show.
Yeah, it does make you feel kind of lonesome, doesn't it?
Ben, think like a soldier. Think like a general. Tell me what he expects us to do.
Maybe he figures the two of us can take on the whole Apache nation by ourselves.
Right now, him and his whole army couldn't take him.
Well, then the only thing for us to do is to play the regular army game. Sit and wait.
Geronimo's got a different kind of army, and he ain't gonna sit around and wait. Tortero! What happened? Where is he?
Still in Tombstone Camp.
He what?
General say you in Mexico.
Well, I know where I am. I want to know why he isn't here.
General say you come back.
But why?
Que no sabe.
I'll start now. You follow in an hour. Where are you going? Bring the general a little present from Mexico. Apache. On your feet. Move! If you're not on your feet in 3 seconds...
Stay out of it!
Now ask him anything you want, he'll talk.
Will Geronimo stay in Mexico?
He will return with the green grass.
In peace?
There never will be peace with Geronimo and the white man.
Does he know that when he returns, we will hunt him down?
You'll never find him. All you'd find is the bodies of your brothers.
Ask him how many braves.
300. With 1,000 waiting for his return.
There are not that many Apaches.
One word from Geronimo. The Sioux, the Comanche. I'll become Apache.
Any more questions, General?
No. Lock him up.
Thank you, Corporal.
John, what that Apache said about the Sioux and Comanches, do you think it's true?
Not unless they got a good reason.
What reason could they have for a full-scale war?
If Geronimo can prove that he can drive the white man out of Arizona, I'd say there was reason enough.
That can't happen.
Well, you better catch up with him and make sure it doesn't.
If the army goes over the border, it means war with Mexico.
Geronimo's an Apache, not a Mexican.
My orders are to stay on this side of the border. No matter how rough it gets, I've got to stay on this side.
Well, you can make your mind up to it. Things are gonna get rough.
I know where he crossed. I'll wait for him to come back.
Well, you wait. And he'll cross someplace else.
All right, John. You better spend the night, huh? I'll put a cot up in the tent.
guess I was a little hard on you out there, General. I'm sorry.
It's all right, John. You just don't understand the Washington situation.
Look, General, we're friends, but if you're going to let a lot of people 2,000 miles away tell you how to run your business...
I don't own the business, John. I just work for the people who do. And they operate under something called the law.
Well, Geronimo doesn't. And he uses your law to beat you.
But, John, if I ignore the law, I'm more of a savage than he is.
I guess there's no use arguing with you.
I guess not.
What are your plans?
Well, I've got all winter to figure out how to outfigure Geronimo. What about you?
Oh, I'll stop in Tombstone, pick up some things for the kids. I'll head back for the ranch. I got a lot of work waiting for me.
Wish me luck, John.
You better be lucky, General. Because if you're not, a lot of people are going to die.
Every man old enough to carry a gun, use it. Right. Every Indian in the territory has to be killed, starting with the reservation. We don't want none of them around, not one. Government must think we're out of our minds, feeding them during the winter so they can kill us in the spring. When we catch up to Geronimo, I'm personally going to see that a piece of him is buried in every corner of the territory. Folks, the one man we need to see that this thing goes off right is right here. John Slaughter.
Yeah, show us the way. Lead us.
Here, John, have a drink.
You make your courage out of that bottle, Bill. But you sure won't get any brains.
Well, I'm not going to take offense to that, John. Not for 1 minute. My fight's with the Apaches, not with you.
Geronimo's holed up for the winter. When he crosses the border next spring, the Army will run him to ground.
We ain't waiting for next spring. We're going to cross the border and get him now.
You're what?
You tracked him for the Army, John. You can do it for us. We're your friends.
I don't call any man friend that's dumb enough to chase Geronimo all over Mexico.
With or without you, we're making our move. And we aren't waiting for next spring to do it, right?
Now, today.
Now, hold on. You men ever stop to think what's going to happen if armed men ride across the border? Ever think what the Mexican government's going to do?
We got nothing against the Mexicans.
Unless they side with the Apaches.
I'm telling you something, and you better listen to me. You don't stand one chance in 100 of ever finding Geronimo's camp. And if you do, it's only because he wants you to.
Well, that won't bother us none, will it, men?
You can lead us to him, John. You know where he is.
I could.
You call the move, John, and we'll follow.
Well, I'll make a deal with you. I'll put it up to General Miles, and if he won't do anything, I'll join you.
That's it, John.
Good boy, John.
How soon?
Give me a week.
A week? For what?
To try to keep Arizona from turning into a national cemetery.
Back mighty quick. Something wrong?
I thought you might be interested in hearing what's going on in Tombstone.
I've heard some rumors.
Well, you better listen to them.
Some men up north are getting pretty riled up, too.
General, you're not listening close enough. They're ready to move. A whole army of them right into Mexico.
They'll have to be stopped.
Well, I got you 1 week. What are you going to do?
Do? What can I do?
Stop Geronimo.
Oh, John, let's not go into that again. I'm not going to take my army into foreign territory.
And then I guess we just have to get Geronimo up here.
Oh, sure. Just send him a message. Tell him I'd like a battle. Please bring his army up to meet mine.
You'd be surprised how many messengers they have in Tombstone.
John, I appreciate all you've done. But I've just got to figure this problem out myself.
Nice.
They'll be in general issue soon. I have 400 in a storehouse in Tombstone.
Geronimo would give half his braves to get his hands on those. I've seen what he's using. Breech loaders, pistols. With 400 of these, he could own Arizona.
Yeah. That, John, is a nightmare I have constantly.
Might not be a bad idea if we made it easy for him to get his hands on these. Look. You move these guns from here to here, and Geronimo knows it. You move a dozen men to there, and he doesn't know it. And you're ready to move in here with another dozen men, and he doesn't know that either. I think we'd stand a good chance of closing the trap.
But, John, you've got me with a few dozen men against a few hundred Apaches. That's plain suicide.
No, General, if you send out a small wagon train, Geronimo will come in with 25, 50 Braves. Just enough to hit and run. He wants those guns.
I could raise 500 to 1,000 men in 24 hours. 2,000 if I needed them.
You move that many men and Geronimo won't get out of bed, let alone out of Mexico.
All right. I'll keep my force to a minimum.
Just to put a little frosting on the cake, I'll write point for that undermanned wagon train.
Yeah. I know he'd like to get a crack at you. But, John, do you really believe that Geronimo will think I'm stupid enough to move that many rifles with such a small guard?
I'm sure he will.
Oh, I don't know.
I do. I've heard him say that one day he'd have General Tonto for his personal servant.
General Tonto?
That's the Apache word for fool.
Probably the best way.
The only way. The army, the winter to get set, and with those guns, nothing can outfight them.
Geronimo's going to have quite a surprise coming.
Yeah, I would say he was.
You mind if I tell the rest of the men sort of set their minds at ease?
You send him on home. Geronimo's going to find out the army's not as stupid as he thinks.
Appreciate all you've done.
Forget it. Well, the best route for us to take would be through Big Mouth Pass. We'll cross through the flatlands, stay inside the hills. That way, we'll miss the desert.
It'll add another day, John.
No, it's a little longer, but it's more comfortable.
Can't argue with that.
That's it. Unless he can see through the wagons, we're in good shape. You fellas just keep sitting around, pretend you don't know they're up there. I'll pass the word along.
Nobody fires from inside till Slaughter gives the word.
Now, don't all die at once. And make it believable. Better scatter out now. Take cover! Let him get closer!
You all right? You died beautifully. Fellas.
They'll hit us from there this time, only harder. Now we'll all go on the first volley. This next charge will be your turn, boys.
Somebody else was invited to this party.
Yeah, friend General was supposed to be here 5 minutes ago.
Right now, I wish I was back in the Texas Rangers.
General, Geronimo.
Lieutenant?
I'm not going to bed until you tell me.
Sometime.
Nope.
You better tell them, John. They'll be up all night.
Well, I hid behind some rocks, and the general rode up, captured Geronimo.
Well, now when I tell fibs, tell us what really happened, Daddy.
Well, let's see. There was about 2,000 Apaches, and I rode up single-handed, and I rode over, and I got right to the middle, and guess who was there?
Geronimo.
Right.
And you pulled out your gun?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I just stared at him, and he stared back, and I stared, and he stared, and then I said, "Boo!" And he began to shake all over.
Aw, Daddy.
And then I turned him over my knee, and I spanked him, just like I'm going to do to you if you don't go to bed.
Good night, Pop.
Good night, General. I sure could use another piece of that pie, Viola.
What really happened?
It was like I told the kids.
John Slaughter, I want the truth.
Well, the truth is, Geronimo was on his way back to the reservation. Some men died.
You stay there?
The best you ever made.
Will he, John?
Sure he will, if they guard him close enough.
What if he breaks out? Will he come back here?
Well, last thing Geronimo said was he wanted to be buried in Arizona. So if he comes back, I think the least we can do is accommodate him.
No.
Come on, sweetheart, let's get some sleep. It's been a long day.
John, as long as that man's alive, I won't be able to sleep.
But then you're going to get awfully tired. Well, his daddy lived to be 92.
In Texas, a ranger he had to become, and outlaws he defied. For Texas, John Slaughter made 'em do what they oughter, 'cause if they didn't, they died. His turned-up white Stetson and pearl